This is Z and E with Self Found, your go-to community for self-empowerment and self-improvement.
So I actually want to start this video with doing like a little check-in. So like, how are you? How are you feeling today? Let's do a little check-in. What's happening?
And it's like, this is the thing. Before we got on, I literally was complaining to her about how fucking terrible my day is going.
The day
like,
just started, mind you.
My ear hurts. There's something to do with it. Something going on with it. My fucking teeth hurt yesterday. My stomach hurts today. And I got a market to do in a couple hours. So, yeah.
So you're feeling
overwhelmed.
Like overwhelmed. Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
You know, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling good, I think. I just came off of a meltdown a few days ago, so I don't know, but I feel like I needed that to really put some shit in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really needed to like get my act together, and I feel like the past few weeks have been very overwhelming, but I think it's because I found myself like falling back into like old habits. And it's like, it has been very overwhelming for me to like even deal with all of that. So it's like, I feel like I'm getting myself back to like a good equilibrium. Like I've been having to like recenter myself. But we're getting there.
No, definitely. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
It's been rough. I'm glad you caught yourself though.
Or something.
So
why are you overwhelmed, friend? What's happening?
I am overwhelmed. My ear hurts. My stomach hurts. I just feel mentally drained. I feel like this is not a way that I would segue into this conversation.
I mean, well, because we gave that was like the check-in, so like now we're getting deep, like diving into the overwhelm. So like, what specifically are you feeling like overwhelmed about? What's happening? The whole situation with your last job?
Yeah. That's the thing. Okay, this is crazy. I've gotten over it in my head. I've like literally deleted it from my brain. Like I have no feelings about Icon whatsoever.
None.
Like none. Zilch. Like I don't.
I love ever saying their name. Period.
Oh, sorry. We might have to.
I mean, you could bleep it out. I mean, who cares? But like, also, we're not saying anything that's inaccurate. It's not like slander.
It's not.
But it's like, I get you want to be like professional and shit. You don't want to be like, this company did this and y'all. But like,
so I'm gonna bleep out definitely.
Wow. For sure.
It's just gonna be the organization. I'll do a voiceover or something. But
them.
Yeah, them. But basically, the stitch. I can lay out what the whole situation was, why I decided to leave, and where I'm at. So the whole stitch was basically that it just feel like they really didn't appreciate me. Like, I don't know. It went from like I'm not being invited to like team activities, team meetings, like things along those nature, like that. Because my position was director of education and engagement. So at that point, I'm director level, but I always felt like I wasn't being treated that way. Like first, it felt like I was almost a volunteer, and like I kind of just rolled with the punches because it's my first place. I don't know shit about it.
Let's
so
just
like,
say event. If you're gonna be the first event y'all had, yeah.
Sheesh. But yeah, the first event, I was like, I don't know shit about what we doing. So yeah, of course, it's a vibe. And then everybody kept coming up to me and was like, "Oh yeah, you're a volunteer? I'm a volunteer too." And I was like, "I'm definitely not." Like I wear crippling
No,
cons.
this is like what I do for a living.
Yeah.
No.
And like they almost acted surprised.
Like
So I mentioned that the first feedback meeting. And they were like, yeah, we definitely know that the team, they're still kind of getting used to you. So it is a little bit of a separation. But for this next time, it's definitely going to be a little bit better as we get to know you. We introduce you more and integrate you more into the team. I was like, oh, cool. Second event, we expand to a different city. And I spent most of that time crying. Really soaked. Like it really, really soaked. Cause like I felt super excluded. Like I would go downstairs sometimes and like see them because it was in like a hotel with a convention center attached, and there was like a restaurant downstairs and like all of that shit. So like I would go down there and I would see them all eating together.
The whole team.
The whole team.
The whole team.
And I wasn't there. And it was like, oh, okay. That's crazy. Or like during the event, for example, I asked everybody for like 2 hours leading up, do we have everything we need to for what I'm like in charge of? Like I made
You
sure
asking
like
for specific stuff.
yeah, exactly. I was asking for my specifics and they were like, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we have that. Yeah. And then 30 minutes before this, I almost said the name, but the 30 minutes before all of the events that I'm coordinating are like supposed to transpire, 10 minutes before it opens to the public, we find out that the things I had been asking for hadn't even been done, even though I was pressing. I was pressing real hard. So it's like that overwhelmed me, and I ended up leaving early from the event, like the whole weekend, because I just couldn't deal with the fact that I really felt alone. And then they had me on a fucking sofa bed. Girl, I am 6 fucking foot. I am 200 plus pounds. What the fuck do I look like sleeping on a sofa bed? So yeah, it was just a whole lot of. But we had a feedback meeting after that. I thought it was cool. I thought it was great. It was fine. I told them my feelings. They said, we thought you did great.
Yeah.
I was like, cute. So then I get a message from my boss. And he's like, yeah, so we're bringing on a new woman and she's going to be the educational coordinator and you're going to be the educational assistant. Huh? So I asked follow-up questions like, why? did you see something that you didn't? What it is, what it ain't. And like, if so, why didn't y'all say anything? Y'all didn't even let me know y'all were hiring somebody else to be above me. Like, what the fuck? Like, you didn't even tell me that. And like,
go from director to assistant is diabolical.
Nasty work. Like, it's nasty work. So like, I had follow-up questions. The response that man gave me was a big microaggression. Like, basically, you should be grateful. She has more experience than you. She can bring on more people in the Houston area, but we wanted to retain you because you know people nationally. I'm from Houston. Most of the people I gather are from Houston or Texas. I know maybe 3 niggas nationally that they gave me. So I don't know what that was, but it was like, y'all are playing with me. Like, y'all are playing with me. So I had to make the decision. Am I going to stay here and continue to endure, or am I going to get it?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Right.
Look, that's where I'm at. I can't even think straight. I just, yeah. Did I make the right decision? I don't know. I'm honestly getting real tired of these videos because at the end of the day, they come at the worst time. About like last video, y'all watch it. I was going through the worst job search ever. Like I was literally like I had just gotten rejected from my dream job, and I was here. I just quit my dream job. It's like, do they know I'm a spirit? Do they know I'm a spirit, guys? Do they know?
Right. Type shit. And then it's like, even to say that you just quit your dream job, that sounds crazy as hell.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would you do that? Because that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Oh my god.
But it's like,
I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
cry.
because like you just said, like it really boiled down to like a few things. One, I mean, well, I guess you didn't say the part, but the pay issue, but
Oh
like,
yeah, because there was that whole thing after the first event, the first weekend. I almost said the name again. After the first weekend, they ended up coming up to me and saying that my responsibilities were going to be absorbed into somebody else's, and they were cutting my pay. So a red flag, but not enough for me to throw in the towel because it's like at that point we gonna see what it is. You said my responsibilities are being absorbed. I'm doing less work.
And
That's
also at the
fine.
time, that's what you were looking for.
Yeah,
Like kind
because I
of.
asked them previously. I needed people to help me with outreach.
You needed a team.
Like at this point, I was the only one in the department finding people, and like we didn't have an application. I made that. We didn't. We didn't. I was reaching out to people on lives. I was reaching out to people on Instagram, TikTok. I was in people's comments. I was in people. I was trying to really figure this shit out. And the audacity of them to cut my pay, I was like, let me see how we vibe. Let me see, because maybe this will help. Because they're not gonna hire more people. So maybe my role being absorbed into somebody else's will help. That's not what happened, in fact. I in fact did the same amount of work just for less pay. Yeah. So the pay discrepancy was one of the reasons that I left. The overall isolation from like not only like team bonding experiences, but excuse me, like they said something about directors were supposed to be on a 5 to 7 hour like work meeting or something like that. But the issue that I have is that I was never opposed to that. I was never opposed to that. Sure, if you pay me enough, but that's the thing though. All of the directors got paid more than me. So I see why they put me as assistant. Because girl, even the interns, even the motherfucking interns getting paid more than me.
Every position, just
every position, more than I make. And you wanna lick my ass. That's how I feel. No. So there was the whole pay thing. There was the isolation from not only team bonding, but I don't even feel like I got the opportunity to really show y'all what I got.
Company opportunities.
Right. Yeah. Like promotion opportunities. Girl, if you go down on Instagram, y'all could probably guess, if you know me, who the company is. But if you go down their Instagram, I'm not listed nowhere. I've myself hosted 2 workshops. I scheduled a bunch of people. I'm always there. But somehow in the team pictures, in the team anything's on Instagram, do you see a black hand? Because I don't. So it was that, on top of the fact that you stunted my growth of my business. Z&Z, you could have posted my workshop. You could have got that.
They didn't post any black people.
They didn't post any black people, because you know when I get in a position as a black HBCU graduate, I'm gonna always put a black person in a position to make some money, which is what I did. When I got there, it was hella white folks. Hella white folks. You know what I did? I said, nah, I don't see us. So I'm gonna make sure they know they not like us. I literally.
Oh my God. Gentrification.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. So I hired nothing but black folks. But if you go down their Instagram, not one black workshop host, speaker, panelist, moderator, anybody is listed.
And that's why they ain't got no content now.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really crazy to even think that their social media person got paid more than you. Because what do you do? I follow y'all. Y'all don't post.
I follow.
I be looking for the posts.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that gets us to our conversation that we're trying to talk about, right?
Okay.
Because I wanted to talk about the battle of like the internal battle of like dealing with like logic versus like going like through like your emotional processes. And I feel like this is a really good conversation for us because I feel like we're exact opposites. You are a very emotionally aware person.
I like how you, like, even in that moment, you were like, you are. Like, she was really trying to be nice.
You are very emotionally aware. And I love that about you. Mm-hmm. And I am not attached to my feelings at all. Like, it's really like, what makes sense? Do that, period. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm not thinking about nothing else. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like over the years we've grown, for sure. We're better. We're definitely a lot better. I feel like I'm definitely a lot better. Mm-hmm. I have a lot more experience like listening to myself and understanding like my body
Yeah.
in general. But like, yeah, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Um,
Because I know that was hard. Like you was going through like this roller coaster of like, damn, like does this make sense? Like I'm making a wrong decision, but it's like, nah, I can't stay here. But like at the same time, this is a good opportunity despite all the other bullshit. But like at the same time, is it even a good opportunity at this point? What are we doing?
At the point that I'm at, and this is not gonna work for everybody. I'm gonna show y'all through my process because the thing is, it does not work for everybody. I go off of whim and whim alone. Like, I don't allow myself to sit in the same emotions too many times in a situation. Like, honestly, if I start feeling like that's all I'm thinking, I personally love to be happy, you know? I personally love to smile. Like, I personally love to smile.
I want to smile.
I personally love to exude that happiness. So if there's something in my life that is actively against it, and not just against it, because there's shit that happens. Life happens, bad things happen. There's ups and there's downs in whatever you do, jobs, people, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's
a difference between shit happening and then like shit being a pattern.
And you, for the most part, know it. It's really just about trusting yourself. And that's what your intuition is. Like trusting that your feelings are valid and then making a decision based off of it. Because people will say, oh, yeah, no, I definitely listen to myself. Like my feelings are 100% valid to me. Like I'm the only person who kind of like validate those. But then it's like in the moments where you need to, in the moments where it's like, you know how you feel, you know that this isn't making you happy, you decide to stay. For logical reasons, like I need money, or I need to, I like this opportunity, or like, but it's like even that is a lacking mentality. Like that's a lacking mindset that you have that you'll never find this again.
But you know, I feel like to that point though, because what you were saying, I was thinking like, well, if that's the case, you don't need logic then. Like it sounds like what you're saying is like just be an emotional ass bitch. Like all right, like yeah, but like you said, like yeah, the logical points are like I need money, and it's like it failed the emotional test in the logical test. Like y'all ain't shit, and y'all don't pay me enough, and it's like I don't like dealing with y'all, and y'all don't even respect me. It's like there's a lot. It's like multi-layered, so it's like,
and like the thing is like being intuitive isn't necessarily being super emotional, but it is including your emotions in a decision that you're making. And a lot of times your emotions will tell you exactly what you want to do.
That's true.
Like I feel like people,
a lot of us go against that though.
Yeah, I feel like it's easier specifically when you're in this life and like you are dealing with real life shit. Like it's really easy and simple to just slip into the logical state of mind because you're just trying to make it out here. But there is still that emotional reaction that you're having as you're going through the logical state of mind. So you have to use both of them. And that's what I feel like your intuition is. It's making sure it's looking at the situation in front of you and saying, okay, how do I want to proceed? What do I want to do? And how do I feel about this?
You know, the way I kind of think about it is that like I feel like if you use like 100% logic, you're not going to have a happy life. But like if you use 100% emotion, you're not going to have a successful life.
Exactly.
And so, because like what you were just saying, it made me think about how like a lot of us, like we make all of our decisions like based on logic and shit. And like a low key brought me to like the thought of like the whole thing at work with like the manager position, like all the extra work and shit. And it's like, that'd be stupid to not like advance smart, but I don't want to do that shit. Like I don't want to do that shit. I just genuinely don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the extra work. I don't want to deal with the extra people. And it's like genuinely, it's not worth this extra money.
Yeah.
It's not. It's already underpaid. I'm cool with being underpaid with little responsibility. I don't want to be underpaid with a lot of responsibility. But it's like, to me, that doesn't make sense. But I am so content. And I'm so happy with that. And it's like, I'm cool with that.
For me, that makes perfect sense. I get exactly what you mean. Like that's just for anything for me, like that seems like just a logic state of like where I'm gonna exert my energy at. Like
I guess because
if
I
I
came to that conclusion based on like just listening to myself. Like I feel like I made it logical after I made the decision, but it was like before that, it's just like I just don't want to, and I was like going back and forth with like, well, why not though, or like I should want to, or like, well, it won't be that bad, and like I can set the
yeah.
boundaries and like blah blah blah. But nah, I don't want to. That's it.
Yeah. And that's really all it is
And then I
sometimes.
made it make sense.
But I feel like it made sense even with the I don't want to.
Okay.
Because it's like I feel like a lot of people, and myself included, it needs to be terrible for me to walk away.
Type
Like
shit.
it has to be
Like
dog shit bad. Like
unbearable.
I'm literally getting my ass beat every day at work. Like they jump at me as soon as I walk in. Like it has to be like terrible
Like
in
this bitch
order
just
for me
spit
to
on my desk.
like she just spit in my coffee and gave it to me.
I can't work here.
Right?
What is wrong with people?
But like no, I do feel like people like it needs to be terrible. And I honestly feel like it maybe it comes from a lack of like wanting to deal with conflict or having to deal with that level of conflict, but I honestly think it's just scarier to trust yourself fully.
I think
Like,
people are always just going to pick what's easier.
yeah.
That too. I think it's hard to trust yourself.
I think it's hard to trust yourself that this is just as bad as if it was terrible. Like, it shouldn't have to get to the point of people like doing a bunch of terrible and heinous things to you for you to be like, okay, I need to walk away. It should be the first moment of like, that's weird. I'm a peep it, and then it happens a couple more times, and it's like, yeah, nah,
And
you about to play with me.
That's completely fair. Like I'm learning that like if it affects my mental or emotional health in any capacity, it's worth noting. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be worth a crash out right now, or like it might not be worth fully dropping it, but it's like I peep. Let me pay attention. Like let me dissect that. Is it me? Is it them? Is it the situation? Like did I just react funny? Like is this a trigger for me? What the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to have a reaction, but like you do need to like pay attention to that.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't agree that you should crash out at the first instance. I feel like that's very emotional.
I agree too.
I know, no, I know. I'm saying like that's why I'm saying like I think that like it's not like I feel like your emotional maturity is logical because it's like in itself it's emotionally immature for the first instance for you to crash the hell out unless it's a hard boundary of yours. Like unless it's a hard no, then like I don't feel like you should crash out. No. But I do feel as though if you've noted it and you're repeatedly feeling it and you feel yourself trying to explain it away, then that's something to note as well. Like being emotionally mature is also knowing when it's time to react. And that comes with listening to yourself. Mm-hmm. 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 I eat. Z eats.
That kind of okay.
Yeah.
So it's giving logic comes second.
It's giving logic and intuition work harmoniously. One cannot exist without the other. And I do mean that. Logic without your emotions is stupidity. Like you're being stupid.
No.
Because the ability for you to be logic and to not understand one the emotional state of the collective but yourself, you can't be fully logical then. You can't fully scope a situation without including the emotional or empathic feelings of those in the space or yourself. So at the end of the day, if you're being logical without emotions, you're being stupid. And if you're being emotional without logic, you're also being stupid.
I guess it's just easier to comprehend the latter. If you're being emotional without logic, obviously you're being dumb.
Yeah.
Dummy.
And people always say that, but I think it's honestly because emotions are tied to women. And because simultaneously,
Is this misogyny?
yeah, society is misogynist and they demonize anything that has to do with women. So you're taught, no, don't feel those emotions. You should just ignore them or get over them. And it's like, no, bitch, that's important. So
Yeah,
it's
because you're
hard.
feeling this for a reason.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Mm-hmm. And I learned that very, very young, that people were going to demonize my emotions or me for having them. I learned it very early on. When people would try to say I was too sensitive, no, Buki, you just feel uncomfortable with emotional expression and you refuse to hold yourself accountable for your own actions that caused it. I'm not too sensitive. You did something that hurt my feelings, and now you're trying to run away from that responsibility. Sorry, that's what happens when you're a human in society. If your actions hurt the people around you, they can talk to you about it. And it's
They'll
your
react.
responsibility to be like, yeah, you know what, I did do that. And that's my mistake. If you want the person in your life, if you don't, do what you want. I don't really give a fuck. But
No, that's fair. That ate.
so I refuse to be told that logic without emotions is the right way to go. Y'all bitches be dumb and y'all be angry. And it's like you still feel emotions. Like they're still feeling said emotions. They're just bottling them up.
Quite literally, yeah. Because I grew up in a very emotionally unavailable household, and then it's like, on top of that, I'm a STEM person, so it's like I'm very
Yeah.
like I'm very straight. Like it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. Like I just there's no I don't do that. I don't do gray area. I don't like ambiguity. I don't like any of that. I don't like none of that. And then it's like it also just doesn't make sense to me because that wasn't even allowed in my house. The fuck you getting all emotional for? Tighten up. Like what
Tighten
the fuck?
up. Look, oh, word? Oh, word? Okay.
So it's like it's weird as shit dealing with that now. But it's like honestly, I feel like it makes everything
That's so
it makes
freeing.
things make sense in
Yeah.
a way because you're kind of right. I know I get no, you're right. You're right.
Kind of right.
That like they have to work together because it almost feels like when you're just working like out of logic, like something's missing. And it's like even if you feel like you're making the right decision, it feels like something's missing.
Yeah.
And I don't get it.
It's yourself.
And it's just like it's just a bunch of frustration. Shut up.
I'm
I'm missing
saying,
myself.
It's just yourself.
I'm
You're not
missing
listening.
myself.
You
I'm not
turned the
listening
mute
to
button
her.
on. Like
And
you
that's
blocked her
facts.
right now. And she's blocked. Can't
That's
even get on the
facts.
page. It genuinely is exactly, yeah.
And now she loud as hell.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And I think
Dookie.
it's honestly super freeing. Honestly, I think it only is super freeing because I've never been listened to. Like as a super emotional kid, like I grew up around a lot of emotionally unavailable people. Like most of the people in my family were in the military. The other side have yet to heal their trauma and go to therapy. Like
My niggas
so yeah. So it's like as a kid, I was stifled heavily. People would always tell me, my family, I'm saying people, my family would always tell me I'm sensitive. They would always tell me that like I need to tighten up or I need to stop being so emotional. The world's gonna like show me why I shouldn't, or something else like that. Or like I remember like I was telling you about the fact that like one of my aunts, like I could only hug her 5 times a day. And like if I reached the like max and she would be like, and she would do like 5 a day, get away from me. And I was like, okay.
Not 5 a day.
Cause like I was a super affectionate kid. I just wanted to be up under somebody.
And now you're not at all.
Yeah. Cause honestly, so many times of being rejected led to a rejection sensitivity. It's like, bro, like you're stressing me. Like, bro, like I don't want to be told no every single time I try to go hug somebody. So I'ma just chill.
Type shit.
And now I just don't like being touched because it's uncomfy.
And I feel like that's the only kind of like affection I got at home. My mom was big to give a hug. Like that was like it was like a thing in the house where like she would like trick you into like doing chores, like the kids that are doing chores. She would like, if you do the dishes, I'll give you a treat. The treat was always a hug. It was always a hug. If you be good in the store, you're gonna get a treat. I'm gonna get a hug.
My mom.
It don't work no more, Ma. I don't want a fucking hug.
I don't want a fucking hug, Ma. My mom always hugged me when she needed me to do something. Like she'd come in, hey, and I'd be like, what do you want? I can't just come in and no. What do you want? Can you go ahead and clean the dishes? Yeah. You could have just said that when you walked in. Like,
Nah, if
don't
my
beat
mom
around the
come
bush.
in to bother, she's coming in to bother. She will come and cuddle with you. What you doing? Mom, please leave me alone. What you up to? What you looking at? What you reading? What you watching? Okay. But that's it. That is it.
Yeah.
Don't start crying.
Honestly, I don't think anybody was in my house to see me cry. So it was kind of straight. I think I learned how to listen to myself pretty early on because there was no one around to listen to me. And then when they were around, they didn't care to listen to me. I was like, oh, you bitches are like weird. And I recognized that it wasn't safe to like be emotional around y'all. So I decided to retreat inward. So I listened to the fuck out of myself. Like I love listening to my emotions. I love reacting based off of my emotions. It feels so freeing because it's like so validating. Like I feel like if you leave it in your head, then it's just you repeating it. Like, is this?
You know what's so funny? And I feel like I've mentioned this a lot, but it's like I feel like it also comes up a lot, and it's like actually kind of getting on my nerves now. But it's like it feels like we have so many like parallel experiences that like manifest into like the exact opposite reaction.
Yeah.
Like you turned inward when like okay, obviously no one's listening to my emotions. Like I'm just like I'm unheard. It me was the exact opposite. I'm like okay, I'm unheard. So obviously what I'm saying doesn't matter. Like obviously this doesn't matter. So it's like I went like to what everybody else was saying. Like oh okay, like I don't know. Like I was not listening to myself because I was told I felt like myself. Damn, didn't matter. That's not what I want to say.
But also, I mean, that's real. For me, I just recognized that my feelings didn't matter to everyone else.
Yeah, maybe I should have realized that.
Because, like, I don't think that was a healthy way to move through it. Because, like, honestly, the idea that, like, I had the strong conviction that no one would ever love me the way that I love myself for a large majority of my teenage life. Like,
is that wrong though?
Honestly, yeah. Like that's wrong as hell. Because then you're setting yourself up to believe that one, you're the only type of your person. So you're not only isolating yourself with like this level of like shame, I'm the only person, everybody else is normal and I'm just like out here weird, but it's two, saying that you'll never have genuine, loving, and fulfilling connections, which isn't true. Like, there's too many niggas in this world. We've met each other. There's too many niggas in this world that are like, regardless of like their own experiences, they will give you that genuine connection. You just have to believe and seek them and work on yourself to attract it.
I guess we're looking at it in two different ways.
Yeah.
I feel like that's different from like saying that like no one's gonna love you the way that, because I feel like I feel like no one should love you, or I feel like you shouldn't love anyone the way that you love yourself in a sense, because I feel like okay, so maybe okay, let me just talk. So I feel like because you're supposed to like put yourself first, you should always be your number one priority, period, and that should be for every single individual. So it's like by that logic alone, no one loves you the way that you love yourself, or no one should love you
the way that you love yourself should be a blueprint for how everyone else in your life shows you love, and vice versa. At the end of the day, the reason that most niggas don't attract what they feel like they should is because they don't love themselves the way that they should. And I know this is going to sound crazy, like, oh, you can't love anyone unless you love yourself. But no, it genuinely is a blueprint. How is someone supposed to come in and sweep you off your feet and make you feel fulfilled if you haven't even decided or figured out what that means for you? You haven't even discovered what it means to fulfill it for yourself. And you should be the first person to discover that. You, more than anybody, should be the first person to discover that about yourself and to love yourself. And you should be first. But at the end of the day, that doesn't negate the fact that you will find connections that can and will give you that same type of love.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I feel like if you go through that like mindset of like no one else will love you the way that like you should love yourself, I feel like even that is coming from a limiting, lacking mindset. Bitches out here are getting flown out. Like,
that's not love.
No. But I'm saying that is love for somebody. Love is based on your own metrics, based on however you feel. Bitches are out here getting gifted $1 billion for fun. And like, I feel like if you think that like no one else will love you like that, you're almost simultaneously saying that you're too much to love. And that's not true.
Huh.
And that's how I feel.
I agree. I think I was playing devil's advocate.
I like it.
Yeah. I couldn't come up with a counter argument though. So I think I'm just arguing points that I agree with.
See, I eat.
Yeah, a little bit. You ate a little bit. You sound like me a little bit. It sound like something I said before.
Does it?
A little bit.
Are you sure?
A little bit.
So not at all.
It does actually. But anyway, emotion versus logic.
That's all I have to say on it.
You need both.
You need both.
You need to listen to yourself and you need to also make it make sense. Like, yeah, that's it.
Thank y'all so much for tuning into this video. If you wanted to check out our Instagram and YouTube, subscribe, like, go ahead. They will be linked at the end of this video. Thank y'all for joining us. Z and E are out.